Now we come to the allotment of symbols. As I told you first, allotment of symbols to the candidates is governed by the provisions of the Election Symbols Reservation and Allotment Order 1968. This is an order which the Election Commission has made. It is not in the act or in the rules, but we have invoked the provisions of Article 324, which gives us all powers, and also rules 5 and 10. Rules 5 and rule 5 of the conduct of election rules says only this much, that every candidate shall be allotted a different symbol and subject to such restrictions as the commission may apply. And rule 10 says once the RO has made the allotment, then the election commission can revise if it is not consistent with the commission's orders. These are the only two rules, but then this whole thing we have done. Firstly, there was no provision for registration of the political parties in law, though from the beginning itself we knew that there will be political parties in the field who will be contesting elections, but there was no provision. And so the election commission right from the first general election recognized some parties as the national and state parties on the basis of whatever influence they had in the fight for freedom and all that. So we recognize certain parties. Then after the first election we set up some standards as to who will be treated as national or state parties. Then this was being governed only by our executive orders. Then to give an advance intimation and to set this whole process in rightness, in 1968 the election commission passed this order. It's a very detailed order. Then in this order we first provided for the registration of political parties also, that every party who wants to contest election as a political party, then they must get themselves registered with the election commission, and we made a provision for this. Then later on in 1989 Parliament thought that the registration may be done under a statutory provision. So they brought into force section 29A in 1989, whereby now the registration of political parties is governed by that provision, but it is still done by the election commission. Under section 29 also they gave this power of registration to the election commission itself. Only the whole purpose was that in our registration, this process, we had not put any condition that every party must make a declaration that it will uphold the principles of secularism and socialism, and then it will uphold the unity. So the commission's parliament thought that this declaration must be given by every party. So they came out with this section 29A. They actually lifted the provisions from the symbols order for the registration by with this additional requirement, and then they said now the political parties will be registered with the election commission under this section, not under the symbols order. But registration is one thing, then the recognition on the basis of the performance of the parties. Certain parties are recognized as national parties, some are recognized as state parties, others are not even registered anywhere but recognized anywhere, but they are still registered. That is still governed by this order, and the parliament has not gone into that sphere. So registration is now under the statutory act, but recognition is still under our own directions, and we have laid down certain principles and based on the poll performance of the parties. So we grant recognition. After every general election we watch the performance of every party and see whether the conditions laid down by us, they are fulfilled or not. So on the basis of this, I will not confuse you with the criteria laid down for recognition, because we come out with the list of the political parties which are recognized as national parties, then parties which are recognized as state parties, and the symbols reserved for them, and then we come out with the list of all the registered parties. I think it is more than 900 now, and then we also come out with the list of the free symbols which can be given to the candidates of the registered parties and the independent candidates. So that is why I was saying that you always must keep the up to date copy of the symbols order and the notification issued by the election commission specifying the names of the national parties, state parties, registered parties and the symbols. Because we have seen in some cases symbols have been allotted by the returning officers by looking into some old list, and they have given the symbols which are no longer available now in the list of free symbols they have given. So that creates a very difficult situation for us. If we now tell the candidate after 2 or 3 days that no, this symbol was wrongly allotted, so please we are going to revise it, that fellow will say, the moment you gave me the symbol I ran to my printer, I have already printed 10 lakh posters and I have spent the money, so how can you change it now? That case, keeping their problems in view, we have reluctantly regularized those appointments, but the ROs have also had to face some music. So you have to just keep that latest order. Whenever you are allotting a symbol, you must see that the symbol which has been allotted by you is actually coming in that notification of the election commission, latest notification. And then we have also specified the designs. Supposing a symbol has been given to a particular party, then its design is also approved. So you have to give only that design and not some other design. And in some cases, just like for example this PLAW, National Conference in JNK, they have a symbol PLAW reserved for them. It was previously a symbol for some other party in some other state, but the designs were different. Their PLAW was different from the PLAW in the other state. So whatever design we have approved for a particular party or for a particular free symbol, that alone has to be given to the candidate. And you better, once you allot the symbol, you give him the design, you take a signature also. Tomorrow he may not say that I was allotted this symbol, but you gave me this design and I have printed those my pamphlets, but on the ballot paper you are showing some other symbol. So you have to keep your papers very pakka, that this is the ballot symbol allotted, this is the design. So now first of all, when you allot the symbols, naturally you will be going by the list of contesting candidates. You have already list in three different categories. First category contains the names of the national and state parties. There is no problem, you have already treated them as the candidates of a particular party on the basis of the forms A, B, etc. received by them, and you have to give that symbol. If a national party has a symbol reserved for it, you will give that symbol to the party's candidate. State party also you will give that symbol. That first part is no problem. Then the question will be of the second part. Second group will come where the list of candidates of registered unrecognized parties are there. So there, as I told you, a state party in state A is not a state party in state B, it is only a registered unrecognized party in state B. So this party has to be given not the state party's reserved symbol, but we have given some special concession to such parties. If a party, for example, one party is recognized as a state party in Tamil Nadu, is setting up some candidates in the adjoining state where it is not recognized. So as a matter of right, they cannot get the symbol of the party which is reserved for them in Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka or Andhra or somewhere. But to give some facility to them, we have said, okay, if you want to have the symbol of your party in the other state also, then first of all the party, central office of the party must write to the election commission within 3 days of the notification that in this particular state, in these constituencies we are setting up our candidates. So, please give our party's symbol to them. Then we will give from the election commission an authorization. Yes, in these constituencies the party's symbol may be given to its candidates, provided the other 3 requirements that the candidate has said, I am a candidate of this party, party has also given you form A and B, you give that symbol to them. But without the authorization of the election commission, on your own you cannot give that symbol. That authorization will come to you under para 10 of the symbols order. So, that party, if somebody comes to you that I am a particular, I am set up by this, then you have to advise them that you tell your party to write to the election commission on the basis of your claim before me, I will not be able to give you that symbol. So, that you can always tell them. Similarly, there may be another party which some time back was a recognized party in particularly in the state of Tamil Nadu, there were some parties which were recognized in the few years earlier, but they are no longer recognized, and that recognition we have withdrawn during the last 6 years. They can also get the facility of their earlier symbol, provided the same requirements they meet. They write to the election commission within 3 days of the elections notification, and then we give them authorization. Without the commission's authorization you cannot give, because sometimes there are certain parties which have a common symbol. In one state a party is recognized with some symbol, in another state another party is recognized but with the same symbol. Now, if both the parties tell us that you give this symbol to our candidates in this constituency, and both then in that case we will not give the authorization. So, that is why this application has to be made to the election commission, and except for the authorization by the election commission you cannot give. Then if such a situation is not there, then the question of registered unrecognized political parties candidates which are purely registered, not recognized, they may have contested elections in the past, or they may be new parties newly registered. So, in that case you will have to see the nomination paper of the candidate, first nomination paper. Supposing he has filed 4 nomination papers, you have to see the first nomination paper, and in that nomination paper you have to see the first preference given by him. That has to be from out of the free symbols which the election commission, as I said, has specified. It has to be out of that list only, it can't be outside the list. So, if he has given the first preference for a particular symbol, and you see that there are 2 other registered parties also, but they have not asked for this symbol, they have asked for some other symbol, and then there are say 5 independent candidates, they have all asked for that particular symbol, and he is the man who has been set up by a registered party, he has given the first preference for a particular symbol, then preference will go to the registered party candidate. So, he will be straight away given that symbol without acknowledging the claim of the independents. So, over the independents the registered party man will get the preference, but that should be the first preference. Am I clear up to this point? So, 6 persons asking for the same symbol, one is a registered party candidate, 5 are independents. So, the registered party man will get that symbol. There may be another situation where there are 2 parties, one man has given the first preference, the other party person has given the second preference, he will not come into conflict with this. The man who has asked for the first preference, he will get. But then there may be third situation where 2 registered parties have asked for the same symbol as the first preference. Then in that case we cannot draw a distinction. Then in that case we will draw the lots. So, whosoever by draw of lots gets the symbol, he will get, and then the other will have to be satisfied with some other symbol. But there again there is a catch. All these things are provided in para 12. You read very carefully para 12 when you come to the question of allotment of symbols to them. There is another catch. There are two parties, registered parties. Both the candidates are asking for the same symbol as the first choice, but one of them is a sitting MLA or a sitting MP. Then in that case he will get preference over the other, and in that case draw of lots will not be made. If they are both ordinary candidates, then draw of lots. If one of them is a sitting MLA or MP, then the draw of lots, then by preference to the man who is a MLA or MP. Otherwise by this. But one thing is, now you have in this process you have to first give the symbols to the registered party candidates. Then comes the question of the independents. Now independents, you see that there is one or two persons who have just asked for a particular symbol as their first choice. No one else independent has asked for that symbol. So you will immediately straight away give them, because they are out of 5. Supposing 2 have asked for some symbols as their first choice, they are separate symbols. So you have no problem, you will give them those symbols. But supposing one of the independent candidates has given the first preference for a particular symbol, and one of the registered party candidates who was not given the first preference because of the draw of lots, he has given the second preference for that particular candidate, for that particular symbol. Now it is a question of whether the first preference of the independent should be given precedence or the second preference of the registered candidate, registered party candidate. No, we will not give him precedence. The independent will get, because first preference of the first man will get precedence. So the second preference of the registered man will not be equated with the first preference of the independent candidate. Am I clear on this? Because there is small catch here. A second preference of a person can't be equated with this first preference of another candidate, whether he is a independent or whether he is a registered party. So we have to go by the first preference. So that way we have to give these symbols. Again also independents also, there may be a situation where 2 or more independents may be asking for the same symbol. Again then draw of lots, but again there is another catch. If one of those independent candidates, one of those independents is a sitting MLA or MP, but then there is a second addition also, he is a sitting MLA or MP, but last election also he contested on this very symbol, then only you will give him that symbol without draw of lots. If there are 2 candidates independents, one is sitting MLA, one is a non-sitting MLA, they are all asking for a symbol, for the same symbol, but the sitting MLA had contested the earlier election on some other symbol. So he will not get the preference, he will also be one of the persons participating in the lot. But if he contested the last election on that very symbol, then only he will get the preference. So this way you have to allot the symbols, but then the situation may arise ultimately, supposing registered party, first preference he does not get because of the draw of lots, second preference he does not get because some independent candidate has asked for that particular symbol as the first choice, or some other registered party man has asked for the symbol as the first choice, he has not got the second preference. Then third preference also unfortunately he does not get in this process, because somebody may have asked for the first preference for that symbol which is his third preference, he can't be equated with that one. So he has given 3 preferences, he is not now left with any other preference on the nomination paper. The question arises, what will happen? So in that case you have, after you have completed the entire process, then you are left with certain other symbols which are still available, which you have not allotted to others. Then in that case you can say, now please come, you choose any symbol of your choice, I will try to accommodate your choice from the leftover. So, similarly, if an independent also has not been able to get any of the three symbols of his choice, he also is in same dilemma, then also he also you just try to accommodate. But if he is not there, then you cannot say no, better you give him a chance, but if he, even after giving a chance he does not turn up, then you are not just say helpless, you give a symbol of your choice from out of the available symbols which are still available with you for allotment. You give any symbol, then later on he can't say I do not like this symbol, then we will not accept that request from him. So, this is how the allotment of symbols will be made, and the symbol so allotted you will put in the list of contesting candidates, because there is a column for that one, then becomes the then this list of contesting candidates in form 7a becomes final, and then you have to give it to the RO, DEO, CEO, even to the candidates also you have to give. To each of the candidates you must give a list of contesting candidates, because they must know where their name stands, what symbol they have, and as I told you, you give them the drawing, so that tomorrow there may not be any dispute that you gave me this symbol, but the design is different. So, we have come to an end of. I have explained without even just going through this, I have explained everything. So, nothing else is to be done. So, about this. Then I just of course, in my talk also I have given you some examples, but still we have come across certain difficulties which, despite so many explanations to the ROs they made some mistakes. We do not want those things to be repeated. Again, just see only some illustrative examples which are very glaring. A person has said in his nomination paper that I am 24. In the affidavit also, that form 26 and others, he said I am 24. Still the RO didn't notice. It happened in Delhi very recently, and so and in Madhya Pradesh also in 2 cases. So, still they accept it. So, this is one case. Then if somebody's name was there in the list which we had circulated of 10A, disqualified under 10A, nobody noticed, then it was noticed only after 7 or 8 days. At that time it was very difficult to exclude his name and ask for the reprinting, and now the difficulty here is, if you exclude any name, the serial numbers arrangement gets disturbed, and the people have already gone to the field and saying that you vote for serial number 5 or serial number 7. If his serial number is disturbed, then he will be after our blood. You have created confusion now. So, we have to willy-nilly regularize that one, but these things have to be avoided. Then in one case, I do not know why the RO did that, the whole copy of the electoral roll was given. He says no, you should have produced only the extract, I will not accept this. So, he rejected. I do not know what will happen to that case in the court, because that election is very recently over in Madhya Pradesh. So, we do not know what will happen to that rejection. Yeah, then again wrong allotment. Some candidates were given the symbols which we had removed from the list of free symbols very consciously, because there were some objections that these symbols are having some religious connotation, or these symbols are having resemblance with some other symbols. So, we consciously removed, but still by looking at the old list, 1 or 2 ROs made the allotment of symbols. Then ultimately willy-nilly again we had to, as I said, we had to regularize them. So, that is not a happy situation. Then, though we had not given the authorization in respect of a particular candidate, still the RO made the allotment. Candidate went to the RO saying, my party has written, and then you please give me the symbol, and then some authorization was shown to him that just see, these authorizations have come from the election commission, my authorization is coming. Whereas the party had not given the not asked for the authorization in that constituency. They had given the say they had asked for authorization 10, not the 11th. So the RO of the 11th also he gave the allotment, that was wrong. Similarly, in one case we made the allotment, we authorized, the RO still did not give, saying I have not received. Then in that case, when he is producing an authorization from the election commission, it was his duty to have talked to the DEO, talked to the CEO, or even to the election commission whether you have authorized, this man is showing me some paper, no, I have not received. So he did not give. Then this one then there was another, what in Delhi very recently happened, the alphabetical arrangement of the independents and the registered parties, they were combined. So there were 3 in the first category, another 4 or 5 in this, so all 7 were put together and the alphabetical arrangement was made. Then somebody said, no, my name should have come in the second category at say place 4, you have shown me at place 7, but we could not do at that time, it came very late. So these are the things which we have recently noticed. So you have to just keep you have to be cautious about these things. Thanks.